Hey, you guys, this is Harold Perrineau, aka Boyd Stevens, or if you like Sons of Anarchy, Mr. Pope. I don't know. But anyway, you are watching the Boys Podcast. Stay tuned. Stay here. These dudes are fun. All right? This is Harold Perrineau. This is the Boys. Later.
Art thou hurt?
Aye, a scratch. A scratch! Aye, a scratch.
Courage, man. The hurt cannot be much.
'Twill serve. Ask for me tomorrow, and you shall find me a grave man.
What you waiting for? You want it? My blood is your blood now, motherfucker.
I like this game.
Welcome back to an episode of the Boys Podcast. My guest today is an actor, voice actor, producer, and singer. You may have seen my guest in projects such as a dancer in season 6 of Fame, Thomas Rashid Cole in Smoke, Mercutio in Romeo and Juliet, Augustus Hill in Oz, Julian Murch in The Best Man, Link in the Matrix franchise, Michael Dawson in Lost, Manny in Constantine, Dean Sims in Claws, Nick Armstrong in The Rookie, Boyd Stevens in From, and many more. So welcome the man, the myth, the incredibly gifted badass legend himself, Mr. Harold Perrineau. Welcome, Harold.
Hey, well, thanks, Joe. That's quite an introduction. It's a big old introduction there, buddy.
It's a career down your memory. It's like a career timeline, you know.
Exactly right, down memory lane. I mean, 6 seasons of Fame. Come on, that's wild.
Yeah, the 80s. You know, like I'm sorry, I love
the 80s. Literally the 80s. My kids weren't even born yet. So awesome. Wild. So how you doing today, bud?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, just it's crazy how fast time goes. You know.
Right. We were just in Chicago just seconds ago.
Yeah. Like, wow.
Do you guys live in Chicago year round?
We live in Chicago, like at least in the suburbs, like outside, like 30 minutes outside of Chicago. Not that far from Chicago. Outside.
Got it. What's the town called?
Downers Grove. It's I don't know if you heard Downers Grove. You probably know.
Well, big up Downers Grove.
That's where we're at. We're in Downers Grove, you know.
There you go, brother.
Yeah. So how you doing, Harold? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Today is all good. It's Valentine's Day. I'm gonna hang out with my all my girls today, and well, my oldest is Aurora is away in London. She's working on something right now, so I don't get to see her today. But you know, I'll hang out with the others, and it'll be great.
That's cool. That's really cool. Wow. Yeah, I loved Aurora. She was in Truth or Dare, like that movie. That's what I liked.
She was in Truth or Dare. She was. Yeah. She also did like Gem and the Holograms, and she had the Season of Chaos, and she's doing good. She's doing really, really well.
She's learning from her father, you know, the legend here. Just saying.
Yeah, nah, she's doing her own thing. She's fantastic, all on her own.
It's very cool. Now, Harold, what made you want to become an actor? Who's your biggest inspiration for acting? Like, do you have like any inspirations, like idols?
So yeah, I wanted to become an actor like most of my life, but I just had no idea how to do it. Nobody in my family's actors and anything like that. And so I used to stay up late at night and watch like all these old like musical movies with like Gene Kelly and Fred Astaire, and like I loved all those old musical movies. And there's a movie called Cooley High, and there's an actor named Glenn Turman who's in Cooley High, and to me he looked like, well, I was young, so he looked like an older version of me. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, I think I can actually be an actor. And so Glenn Turman is one of my big inspirations about being an actor. Yeah.
And so that's why you wanted to start acting. Like, I could do this. Like, is that what you?
I thought like I could do this. I thought I loved this. I thought like this is really great being able to tell these stories. Yeah, he just connected with me in a way that like felt like really truthful. Cooley High was a movie that it reminded me a lot of where I was living. It reminded me of like these stories my dad used to tell me about his past, and so it was a big revelation for me that it was possible. Yeah,
That's cool. That is really cool.
Yeah,
I love all that kind of stuff, like the older stuff too. Like, I'm a big nostalgia guy, like that. So
yes,
that's cool.
yeah, it's very cool.
Wow, awesome. Now, what is your favorite role you portrayed in all your roles? Choose your favorite.
Oh man, that's like asking me which one of my kids is my favorite. That's hard. That's really, really hard. Look, I've been really, really lucky, Joe. So I've had a lot of good fortune, and I think some of the roles that I've done are my favorite because of like many different things. Like I love playing Mercutio because, well, it's Shakespeare, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Who's a better writer than that guy?
That's true.
So because it was Shakespeare, it was a real stretch for me. That was really exciting to do. I love being on Oz because it was such an experiment. At the time when we were doing Oz, there had been no dramatic shows on any cable networks anywhere. HBO only had like concerts. They would show movies, and they had a couple of streaming series like Dream On and the Larry Sanders Shows, which were comedies. And so they were experimenting with this thing with dramas. And Tom Fontana wrote this just amazing, crazy script about this, this prison. And it was really challenging because it was, we didn't tell any stories in real time, and my character was in this sort of netherworld, like narrating, and it was really hard to figure out. But I really loved doing it, and I loved working with all those guys. We were all in New York, just guys and ladies. We were all in New York, and just in this little acting bubble, doing just the wildest things you can do with each other. And I got to learn a lot. It was my first sort of big television role, and those are some of my favorites. But I've enjoyed like many characters for many reasons.
That's cool. Yeah, because we actually So I took acting class in high school, and that was we actually, freshman year of high school. That's what we read and then we watched was Romeo and Juliet. So
got it. Who'd you play?
no one really. I just I think I played what's called. I forgot what character. It was like with the Tybalt. I can't.
Tybalt.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm bad.
John Leguizamo did it in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. It's a hard character to play.
I love to my main thing is to write scripts, so like I'm more like a behind the scenes type of guy. So that's why I'm
got it. Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you, I appreciate that. And before the next question, can you say Walt or some other quotes?
People ask me to say that all the time. I'm sorry, brother. There's no way to recreate that scream of Walt because I was terrified. Did you ever hear that story?
Yeah, because you're like, we were like scared you lost yours.
I was screaming because I don't know how to swim. So there's no way to recreate that story. So I just always go like, I can't do it because you have to throw me in the ocean. That's the only way to get it back.
Or if it's possible, can you say your blood is my or my blood?
I didn't mind saying your blood is my blood. Nah, I mean my blood is your blood now, motherfucker. I didn't have any problem saying that because Buck Smiley, by the way. Sorry about my language.
You're fine. You could swear. Yeah. When I saw the end of season 3, I was like, why the fuck is he back? No.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Smiley. God damn it.
Well, I like that quote's iconic. Oops, sorry, I cut you off. Or the "Who the fuck is next?" when you said with the pool, with this pool scene in season 3. Like,
Oh, got it. Oh,
yeah.
really? I didn't even think about that. Really, nobody's ever said that. Who's next? Who the fuck is next? I have to go back and look at it. Is that what he says?
You said, "Who the fuck is next? I can't help you if you don't let me. I can't do it because you can do."
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have to go back and listen to it. I don't even remember it.
That was the scene where Liz Saunders' husband Cliff.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to go back and look at it. I have a hard time looking at that scene because I can't. And looking at him in the wall freaks me out.
Yeah, same. I was like, "Oh my god, what the? That's really gruesome."
Yeah, it creeps me out. I can't do it.
Now, can you walk me through the audition process? How did you get the roles of Michael Dawson and Boyd Stevens? How did you get those?
Well, Boyd Stevens, I didn't actually audition for. It was just a long process. I had already worked with Jack Bender from Lost and Jeff Pinkner from Lost. Michael Wright, I worked with him when I did a TV show with Brian Austin Green called The Wedding Band years and years ago. And so like I'd worked with all of them and the casting director was a friend of mine. So he suggested me. And after a bunch of discussions, we wound up doing it. But for Lost, I had I had been in LA for a little while. I hadn't been there for a long time. I was doing a play called Top Dog Underdog. Me and this other actor, Lawrence Gilliard, we were the actors who took this show on the road in America. And Jeffrey Wright and Mos Def took the show from Broadway and went to London. Wow. And so we were in, me and Lawrence were in Los Angeles when the audition for Lost came up. And it was just really like weird. They were like, "Hey, we can't tell you much about it other than these people were in a plane crash and they're stuck on this island." And we were like, "Oh, okay. Is that it?" And it's like, it feels like, I don't know if you know this, you might be too young. It feels like Gilligan's Island. Like, is this a comedy? It's like, they were like, it's not a comedy and it's not Gilligan's Island. So relax. So I just went in and I auditioned with these scenes where I'm talking to my son who I barely know. And that's all the information I had. And so I just made up a story about it in my head. I just made up a story in my head and I went in and I did the audition and they were like, great. And then I had to leave that audition and then run to the theater because I had a show that night. So I went to the theater, I did the show. The next day I got a call that says, "Oh, you're going to come to the callbacks." And like usually when you go to a callback for a big show like this, there are lots of guys that the studio wants to see because there are lots of ways they can go with the character. And so I get there and I run into this guy, Brian Burke, who was one of the executive producers of Lost. He and JJ are friends since they were kids. And Brian Burke goes, "Hey, Harold." And I go, "Hey, how are you, man?" And he's like, "Hey, you're the only one we call back, so don't fuck it up." And I said, wait, time, what? He's like, "You're the only one, man, so go in there." And so I went in and apparently I didn't screw it up. And that's how I wound up being in the cast of Lost.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
You're
sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. Sorry.
That's fine. And then for From, you just got because the producers helped.
Well, I had worked with them for a really long time. In fact, Jack Bender, who's our executive director and producer, I have known Jack Bender for years. And I did a project with Jack Bender called The Tempest back in 1995, maybe. And that is where I met my wife, on the set of The Tempest with Jack Bender. And so like I've known Jack Bender for years and years and years. And so it really was a matter of he already knew my work. There was nothing I needed to audition for. Like he'd seen me do everything under the sun. You know what I mean? I'd done The Tempest. He worked on Fame. I did this show called I'll Fly Away. I've known Jack Bender forever. And so it wasn't like I needed to prove anything else to him. He was just like, he just needed to think about it because he knew there were going to be a lot of Lost comparisons and he didn't want to make it too much of a Lost comparison. And then he thought about it and he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And I was like, "Let's do it." And that's how I wound up as Boyd.
That's cool. I can't imagine a better person that portrayed Michael and Boyd. You're like the best person to portray them both.
Well, that's because you've only seen me do it. So.
Come on, no, I think you're really good at it. You're very talented, Harold.
Sure, there'll be lots of really good actors.
That's cool though. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, favorite from character, favorite season, and then favorite behind the scenes memory.
Say that again. Favorite
sorry,
character.
Favorite from character, favorite season, and then favorite behind the scenes memory.
Okay, great. So because From is still an ongoing thing, I'm imagining we're going to have a lot of great moments. But one of my favorite characters is turning out to be Jade. Just so wild and nutty and irreverent, and like, his whole journey from not believing that any of this was real to like being like, I'm going to figure it out, has been really fun and fascinating and filled with all of those things that guys who consider themselves geniuses to be. He's just so much smarter than everybody, but he is kind of compassionate, but he is really trying hard to figure it out and does crazy things to him. I really love the character Jade. I think he's great. So that he's one of my favorite characters. My favorite season is probably so far season 1, because whenever you start out a show, you don't know what your show is. You don't know what you're going to do or how it's going to be. And every one of the actors on our show is so like concerned about like doing the work. Like there's just no egos. And so we would have many times, like me and Chloe Van Landstreet would be at a park rehearsing, the scenes between Boyd and Christy. Like, well, what if we do this? And, like our first argument was just a scene. I was like, well, what if we played the scene like we were arguing, like we were in the middle of something? And she was like, oh yeah, what if we did? And then we played the scene so there's a bit of tension. But everybody like would rehearse. I'd rehearse with Cortion. Didn't talk to me for the first, few days because he knew that Ellis was mad at Boyd, and so he came, he said hello, and then he stopped talking to me. It's like, okay. But so my first season, the first season is one of my favorite because, and we still are like this, but it's really great. It's really cool when you don't know what something is, and then you all full force just go in there and just try your hardest, and then it turns out to be something really fun. And so. So yeah, Jade, favorite character, season 1, and is my favorite season. And all the behind the scene rehearsals that we were doing, like those are my favorite. Like we were literally rehearsing everywhere, in the park, in people's like apartments, at a restaurant. And people were just like looking at us, and I'm like, let me tell you something. Like, we're just like just rehearsing, and so. That first season was a lot of fun. We had a really good time.
Wow, that is cool. Honestly, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I'm shocked you didn't say for your favorite character would be Ellis. It's your son. Come on.
Well, it's hard to say like he's your favorite character because you love him. It's just like that's easy. Yeah. Like I love him like as Ellis. I love him as Cortion. He literally has a room in my house. That one is easy. So I had to pick somebody else that's really a little separate from Boyd.
Now, like a side question, how many seasons do you think you guys will make it from? And then, do you think Jim's really dead? I'm curious. What's your?
I think Jim is really dead.
You think he's really dead? Okay.
I think he's dead. And they have always talked about there being a limited amount of seasons. So. Somewhere between 4 and 6, somewhere in there. And I think that's a great idea. I think it shouldn't go endlessly on. I think we should get to some resolution. And so somewhere between 4 and 6. So either we go back this year and it's our last season, or we do some more. Who knows?
That's cool. Yeah, season 3 in particular was really dark and fun. Like the deaths too. It's like, holy crap, this turned like a big turn.
Yeah. But I gotta admit, my favorite new title is that Julie's a story walker. Like I had never heard that before. I was like, she's a story. What does that even mean?
Yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, I know what you.
I can't wait to find out what that means. So that's a really cool title. But you're a story walker. What? It blew my head when I read that. It blew my mind. I was like, oh wow. I was like, John, where did that term come from? He's like, I made it up. It's great. John is our writer. He's like, I made it up. I was like, a story walker. That's amazing. I can't wait to see what happens.
Would you say is that your favorite twist? Would you say do you have like a favorite twist, like something?
No, there are just a ton of twists. The Smiley twist is crazy. Jim's twist is crazy. When Fatima was pregnant, that was crazy. I mean,
I would say the
Sarah,
Catalina and David. Oh, sorry, cut you off. Catalina and David. There's a pair. Like what?
Crazy.
I was like, what?
Because now my head is all like twisted. Like when Jim, what did I just call him? Not Dave. That's his real name.
Jade.
When Jim, Jade, and Victor's father are all in the same room.
Henry.
Like, are we looking at three different iterations of the same guy? Like, or like three different, like, because what's his name's dad was married to Peach's mom.
Victor?
Victor. He's married to Victor's mom, but is she Victor's mom? That means she was married, but she's also connected to Jade, and she was like, I don't know what is happening on this show. My brain is just like exploding. So yeah, I can't wait to find out.
Yeah, and people were saying too, because I don't know if you noticed, like the small little Easter egg in season 1, episode 1, when Jade got introduced, he was actually wearing the bracelet, the Tabitha Jim bracelet. Did you know it?
Oh, I heard that. Yes, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I didn't pay attention.
It hadn't happened in a long time that two people came in at the same time. That has to really has to mean something somewhere. And he has the bracelet on. Yeah, I can't wait to find out what madness is in John Griffin's brain. John Griffin's brain. Like there's some madness going on there. It's gonna be very cool to find out.
That's cool. I hope I cut you off. I'm sorry. I just get excited, so I'm sorry.
Same here. I get super excited about it. I'm like, I don't even know what to do. So yeah, cool.
Speaking of from, do you have any theories what the name means? Your theory? The name from means?
Oh, what the name from means? No, I don't actually have any real theories. I used to say this in the beginning that it reminded me like of old school hip hop of Rakim. It ain't where you're from, it's where you're at. And so I always thought that something about from it has to be, all these people from all these different places, but none of that is really important. It's where we are right now and how we get through it. And so I always think of it like as a Rakim beat.
That's cool. Yeah, because it's like I'm excited for season 4. That's all I know.
Yeah,
that's all I know. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, is there a certain type of role you would love to portray, like a Western, sci-fi? Is there a certain type you want to portray?
I'm looking forward. There's so many great like franchises out there or great new things to experiment with. Like I'm a huge fan of all the Marvel things. So even being in I don't even have to be a superhero, but it's like being in a comic book. Because I used to be a big comic book kid when I was younger. So it's like, I'm in a comic book. You guys look. A live action comic book. So like I look forward to like maybe doing something like that. I'm really I'm just having a lot of fun. So there are, a couple of classic pieces that'll be awesome to play. Or I used to say that I had all these things I wanted to do, and my career has been so much more interesting than anything that I thought of. That now I just kind of like I trust the things that come. I trust the choices that I make, and when something cool comes along, I think I think I'll be guided in the right direction. Like I could not have imagined From was going to come along, and here we are. So, so I'm just gonna let it ride like that.
That's cool. You said you were a big comic book. I'm the same comic book. Who's your favorite superhero? I'm curious. Who's your superhero?
Oh, back in the day, it was for sure Spider-Man was my favorite. I used to draw Spider-Man all the time when I was a kid. I can't do it anymore. But I'd just be in school daydreaming about like the web slinger because I was also in New York, and he's like, Peter Parker's in New York. I was like, man, If I could swing above these buildings, I'd meet Peter Parker on top of the Empire State Building. we go kick some bad guy butt.
That's cool. That'd be cool. I hope you do be in a Marvel movie. That'd be really cool. Is there a Marvel series you want to be like in like the Spider-Man movies, Captain America, like any of them?
You know, like I really enjoyed them from right when they started. You know, the first Hulk ones, all those really early Iron Man ones are really so cool. The Captain Americas, and then when they started, you know, melding them into the Avengers, that was really good. One of my good buddies is Hawkeye, so it was really kind of cool to watch him do all that stuff with those guys. And so yeah, Black Panther is just absolutely out of this world great. And so Chadwick was really really great to watch. And so yeah, any one of them. I really like the Marvel movies. I like the whole franchise.
It's cool. You mentioned Jeremy Renner. I liked him in the movie Tag. That's what the movie I liked him in the movie Tag. He was with Hannibal Buress.
Yeah. He's in Tag. He's really fun. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah.
That's cool. I could see you being like in a Star Wars movie or TV show. I don't know why. That's why I could see you in here.
Same here. I could see me in a Star Wars movie too.
See it. That'd be cool. Yeah. That's cool. Now, favorite movies, TV shows, music, band artists, type of music. What do you like? Your favorites? What's your favorite?
One of my favorite. I say this all the time. Like I said, I used to love. I don't used to. I still do. Love musicals. And when I was a kid, I would watch West Side Story over and over and over and over again. And you know, West Side Story is just a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. And oddly enough, one of my favorite characters in West Side Story is the character of Riff, who's actually Mercutio. So when I got to do Mercutio, I was like, oh my God, I'm Riff. I have a dress on, but I'm Riff. I'm wearing this really good miniskirt, but I am Riff. Watch out.
That's cool.
So West Side Story is one of my favorite films of all time. I even like the new one that Spielberg did. I thought directionally it was really well directed, and so I'm a big West Side Story fan. I like lots of music. You know, I went to a conservatory for a while, so like I'm just a big fan of music. You know, I play violin, so there's lots of classical music I love, and there's hip hop sort of was born around the time. You know, I was a teenager, so there's a lot of hip hop I love. Eventually, the rhythm and blues, I really love that. That led into a lot of cool rock and roll. And so I just like music. I like music, and I love doing movies and stuff like that. And, but right now, one of my favorite shows on TV, like I couldn't even tell you what my favorite shows are because there's just too many to count. But right now, I'm watching the show Paradise with Sterling K. Brown. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's really good. It's on Hulu. It's
really good. I can't wait. Again, one of those shows, a little mystery box. I can't wait to find out what's going on. Yeah. I'm liking it. I'm liking it a lot. So, yeah.
Okay. Who's the killer? You think? Who killed the president of Cal? Who killed him in the
Sinatra?
Sinatra? Yeah, Sinatra.
She did it. She's cold-hearted, bro. She's cold.
Yeah, like it was crazy. I can't believe she killed Billy. Like if Billy messed me up, like she told that girl to kill him. Basically, it's like what the.
Yeah. Bye, Billy. You thought you were too big and bad. The little girl took you out. Cool.
Well, now, if you didn't go into acting, what do you think your career would have done? And what other hobbies do you have besides?
So there was a long time. I'm going to tell you the truth is I don't know what I would do, but there was a long time that I really wanted to be a doctor. That I thought I'm going to be a doctor, and the only thing I have to get over is like the sight of blood.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
Which you probably have to deal with a lot. But I thought about that for a really, really long time. But I'd probably done something that's in some kind of service capacity because I think that's where my head lies. But I'm also I'm wildly suited to be an artist, and so This is where I am. You know what I mean?
That's cool. Do you have any
Yeah.
hobbies? Because I know, you say you used to draw when you were younger. Do you have any hobbies?
One of my big hobbies right now is I'm trying to get this black belt in jiu-jitsu. I'm not close, but I'm trying to get that. I used to love to ride motorcycles, but after I had kids, I felt like I should just be more careful so I could be around. But man, do I love riding motorcycles, like on the track or anything like that. Oh, I really do love riding motorcycles. And me and the kids do music together. It's I taught my daughter a couple chords, and now she's like so much better than I am. Like last night, I was going to bed, and the two girls were up just playing songs and singing, and I was like, I couldn't have been more proud and just like I don't even know if proud is the word. I was just laying back and enjoying listening to them play, just play music. So music is a big hobby of mine. Those are kind of some of the things. Yeah.
So next time I see you, I'm gonna bring a black belt so you can sign that. Okay, Harold.
I can't sign any black belts until I get my black belt. So
fine, deal.
Yeah, when I get my black belt, I'll sign them all. But I haven't gotten it yet. So I got a lot of work to do. A lot of work. So we'll just keep going. Yeah.
Now, what inspired you guys to create Sable? That Sable's really good, by the way. Really cool.
Thank you. So, The Best Man, which is one of my also all-time favorite franchises, it's actually great. In The Best Man, the four male friends. So they're all friends, but the four male friends. Whenever they have, things that they want to talk about or times that they get together, just them, they always have some sort of a brown spirit. It was nobody's ever said what it was, but, bourbon or whiskey, but it's always some sort of a brown spirit, and maybe cigars, and they're playing cards and all. And so at the end of The Best Man final chapters, Malcolm said that was it for him. He wasn't writing anymore. But I really, really love working with those guys. I really, really do. It's a really rare opportunity when you just get to work with people that that you've connected with from the beginning till now. We're just still buds. And so I met the spirit company called Bespoken. And they're like renegades in the spirit making market. And then I went to the guys and was like, hey, would you guys be interested in trying something wild and crazy? Would you guys be interested in creating a spirit together, like a brown spirit, just like the dudes in The Best Man, until, maybe Malcolm will write another one. And if not, we'll just go on this journey. And they were like, yeah, let's go. And so we all went and we met the Spoken Spirits. And we loved them, they loved us, and we decided to form a collaboration together. We formed a team, and they have a team, and then we just went about it, and we tried all these different things. I thought originally we were going to do a rye. So we tried ryes, we tried American whiskeys, we tried scotches, we tried bourbons, we tried all these different things. We even, I think, did one that felt almost like a Japanese whiskey, just because it was a little lighter. We were just trying all the things. But once we found this bourbon, this Sable, we all immediately agreed. We were all like, no, this is this one. What's this one? What's this one? and it was this bourbon. And we've already won, a couple of just blind taste tests, because that's really what we wanted to make sure. It's not just like the four of us, but something that you really can enjoy. And so we won a couple of double golds and some blind taste tests. No names, no nothing, just taste on its own. And so Sable was born out of a need to kind of keep a community together that I love being in, and creating a bigger community on that. And so that's what we're doing.
Wow. Is there any inspiration behind the name Sable? Because it's a very cool name. That's why I'm asking.
Sable is another way of saying the color black. The bottle is black.
Ooh.
The owners are black. The spirit is dark, and it's rich. And so instead of it being like, bourbon black, Sable just sounds
badass.
Sounding bad. Yeah, it does. There you go. It sounds badass. so that's the name we came up with. Yeah.
That's cool. What'd be really cool? Imagine if Sable was in from the bar. Imagine if they had a bottle of Sable.
That bottle of Sable just, hey, you guys, has this been here the whole time? I said,
That'd be cool. Come on, that help. Come on, pitch
it'd
the
be
idea.
awesome.
Pitch it to the crowd.
If the bottle that Father Kachi had left, it was a bottle of Sable. Like,
It
is
means
that this
something.
in a candy bar?
That'd be cool. And then people are like, oh, Sable, let me look this up. Come on.
Let's get some. Here, Jade, have a sip of this. So cool. Very, very cool.
That would be cool. Now,
Yes, sir.
favorite sports and favorite teams and favorite foods. Do you have any favorite of those?
I'm not I don't know a lot about sports. I said, I do jiu-jitsu, so I know I love boxing and I love boxers, and so I'm a big boxing fan from way, way, way back in the day. When I worked for HBO for Oz, they still did boxing then, so they would give us tickets to all the big fights, and so I love doing that. And now I'm enjoying like all the sort of mixed martial arts companies that are around right now, and I like mixed martial artists, and those are really good. Outside of that, I'm still like I don't know a ton. My wife used to play basketball, so she knows all the basketball teams and players, and even some of them are around her age. They're still playing, so she knows them. And that's kind of it. So yeah, so kind of like martial arts and boxing, and those things are my favorite. As far as foods go, hey man, I'm a big fan of like because I'm from Brooklyn, like they had like these great Jamaican restaurants and food, and Jamaican restaurants in New York, and so I'm a big like peas and rice and plantains, and like so Jamaica, Cuba, all those kind of foods are like sort of my favorite like comfort foods. I really dig those, but I can't eat too much of it because like I make sure that Boyd is bigger, but if I eat too much of it, Boyd would just out of his costume. So so Boyd is a bigger guy than I am, so I try to bulk him up. I can't eat too much of those foods, but I love it.
See, my favorite boxer of all time is Sugar Ray Leonard. That's my favorite.
What a great one to love. Did you love? I don't know if you loved that era when they were boxing. It was Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, like all those guys were just, oof, were they great? Were they great? Yeah. So,
That's
I love it. Yeah.
That's cool. Now, are there any projects you have in the works and they come up in the works for you?
Well, it just got announced in the trade. There's a project that I'm producing that is
Slay the Dreamer. Slay
the Dreamer. That is based on true events that happened during the time of the MLK assassination, and the players involved. And so I may do a small role in it, but I've had this project for 12 years now. We've been trying to get it going, and so I think we finally got it going. We have a great cast with Josh Lucas, Lawrence Fishburne, Jeremy Irons, and Josh Michael Stern is directing. And so I think we have a really fantastic thing that's about to. So that's what I'm working on right now. And so that's when I have a meeting next after I make sure that my daughter lands where she's supposed to land, which is what I was just doing there 10 seconds ago. Yes.
That's cool. Well, and then don't you also have another role, Out Come the Wolves? Is that another thing that's come out?
Oh, I did that. Right. I did a small role in a film. They were just kind enough to ask me to come in. I was there for only a couple of days, but they have a bunch of young actors in there that are going to be great. Out Come the Wolves. Yeah. But I've already done that already. And we had a really, really good time. Shot it in Portland. And cool. What an awesome cast. Those kids are. Yeah, they're good.
I'll make sure to check out Slay the Dreamer. I'll promote to all my followers, friends.
Yeah. Perfect. It's going to be really great.
Awesome. And then, do you know when season 4 starts filming? I'm just curious. Do you know when season?
I do not. In fact, I'm going to be on the phone with some people today asking so that we can, so I can schedule accordingly. Because I'm not going to mess up my From gig, and so I just got to make sure that we put everything in the place so I can get there and do that job. Because I love this job. I love it. And so I want to make sure we do the best that we can.
I was saying, I know that's your dog, but it's one of the monsters. I'm kidding. Kidding. Smiley's coming back. I'm kidding.
Smiley's coming back as a Chihuahua. Wait a minute. You can change into a Chihuahua here?
Oh, hell no. I'm good.
This is getting worse. It's getting worse by the second.
What advice would you give younger people who are an actor? What's your advice, Harold?
My advice is really make sure that you really love it, right? It's hard in this sense. My instrument is my body, right? And my instrument is my body, my mind, and all that other stuff. And being an actor is a really subjective game. Like, I'll go in an audition for something and they'll go like, oh no, but they're not really rejecting me. They're rejecting, like, they have another image, but it feels like they're rejecting me. And so so what I really had to learn throughout the years is, one, that I really love to act. Two, I'm really prepared. I really worked hard to be an actor. So if you want to be an actor, I think you should really, really work on it. Do theater and television and movies and, any side gig I can do, readings, all that stuff, because what I do know is I know how to act. Nobody can take that away from me. If you don't like what I do, that's cool, but it doesn't mean I can't act. And so, like, I would say to any young actors, you stay in the game, you really learn your craft, and then you just trust in your abilities, because it's so subjective. And it can get in your head. You can just walk around thinking like, oh, why can't I grow a few more feet? Or why don't I look like Keanu Reeves? Or why, you know what I mean? It's like, because you don't look like Keanu Reeves. That's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing I would suggest, that you really learn your craft and then learn how to be secure in what you do. And after that, there's nothing you can decide about what people have. They're creating something as well, and they have an image of what they're creating. And because you don't fit the image doesn't mean you're a bad actor. It just means that you don't fit the image that some other person had in their head. That's all. So yeah, I try to remember that.
I always add, like, stay humble. Remember you came from. That's what I can say for it.
Yeah. That helps too. Yeah. Remember that. So, okay. What else, man?
What's one thing you like to tell the Frumley fans at home? What do you want to tell the Frumley?
Well, one thing I would love to tell the Frumley fans at home, and this sounds cliche, but I love you folks. I'm telling you, the Frumley turns it up. It's not just for the show. Like, we literally got legislation changed here in California, because not only did I tweet some things, but the Frumley tweeted some things. We got a little girl to get health care in, like, Texas. Not just me, but the Frumley. Like, yo, I love you folks. That's all I got to say. Like, I think everybody's going to stay in, but I love those folks. I think they are the coolest. Everybody says it, the coolest fans, but I've watched it in action. Like, it's not just turning up for the show. They turn up for each other. We've created a community. People talk to each other. People love each other. That's really what it's about. Like, the show is good. And the show is good, but it gets broader than that. And I've been really enjoying that. Like, from the bottom of my heart, I really feel that. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, it's like a big family, like almost like a big.
Yeah. It's kind of like a family. So stupid.
That'd be cool too. We could do like a part 2, answer some of their questions if you're down in the future, Harold.
Maybe in the future, yeah. Maybe we'll get to that. Yeah. We'll figure it out. There's a lot of people that try to do interviews, and so we'll keep we'll stay on top of it. So. And you said you have one more? Is that
yes. Before I ask my last question, Harold, do you have any questions?
I do not. Little dog, please don't come in here. That little dog is going to come in here and start barking. She's weird.
It's the creature. Smiley's back. See,
Smiley, you want to get out of here? I'm gonna slit that throat, bro. No, I'm not. I'm not gonna slit the dog's throat. I don't have any questions, man. I thank you for coming up and saying hi at the airport, and also coming out to the to Money Gun to support the Sable brand. I really appreciate you and your family. Tell your mom I said thank you. And that's it for me, man. It's all good.
Thank you. Is there anything you want to promote and shout out that the viewers could check out? Anything? Well,
No, you know, stay tuned for Slade the Dreamer. That's going to come up really like in the next year or so. And if you like old school movies, it's set in small towns, check out Out Come the Wolves because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm not sure when it comes out, but probably in the summer. So look for that. And season 4, you guys, season 4. Yeah,
that's cool. I'll also link down your social media pages. For the viewers. I got you. And also, if you want me to link down season 6 of Fame,
no. No. I'm okay. You don't have to do that.
I was like, oh my God, it's Harold dancing. That's so cool.
So bizarre. All right, brother, man.
Thank you, and Harold, for being an awesome, amazing guest. I had a fun time chatting with you. Thank you, Harold.
Thank you, bro.
Have a great day, everybody, and stay awesome. And Harold, you stay awesome, okay?
Thanks, Jeff.